What I've just found are the things that I should have sown last month. Hello, and welcome to the Petite Plot. Well, it's April now, and I have just had my birthday at the end of March. And it was a very lovely birthday. I spent the weekend relaxing, mainly. I'll show you a few images later, but we went to the cinema and we had my in-laws round, had some nice cake, and I had lots of lovely presents. I really feel as though I've been quite spoiled. But in today's episode, we do have quite a lot going on. The big thing really is the mural in my office is finally up. It just looks amazing. I'm really happy with it. So the first panel or two that you do tend to get a little bit, I don't know, nervous, yes. But it went well. Then I'm jet washing the bound gravel patio. We were told that you don't need to jet wash them, however, you'll see what a difference it does make later. I'm planting out some corn salad and I'm sowing some seeds. A bit late, but I'm there. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and join us for this journey. With me, Heidi. My husband's in the background doing things here and there. But you'll just see us two on camera, me and Heidi. Again, the weather's been really up and down. It starts off very chilly, obviously being spring still. We do have a chilly morning, and then if the sun comes out, it's generally quite nice. However, it's been very windy lately, and the wind chill is horrible. You can see here the spinach that I planted out recently. They're doing really well. These aren't the perpetual spinach, so these are ones that I need to start harvesting now. That beetroot there has overwintered and it is starting to bulb now. I can't wait to get to that part of the season where you can really start planting out and harvesting. But what I always try to do is keep something to harvest throughout the year, which is why I have perpetual, spinach, rocket, just those little extras that you can add to a salad or a meal. And here we've got the corn salad. It's still a little bit too small to harvest, so I'm hoping it will really shoot up now that it's going into the ground. But again, this overwintered. And I know it's a fairly cool season crop, so it doesn't want to be out in the heat of the summer. It wants to be in a slightly shady position. I am planting them quite close together, but they're not going to be growing too large. So it's okay to put them fairly close. And it's weird that we started off the year with such a lot of wet weather. The last few weeks it's been quite dry and the ground is really starting to dry out already, and it's beginning of April now. What I've just found are the things that I should have sown last month. had a little pack of stuff together, and then just to be tidy we put it away and I forgot all about it. So I've got Aster Duchess, stocks, 3 packs of sweet peas, one, oh, can't hold it, one from B&Q, my original pack sweet peas, these were Thompson & Morgan Odorata, and from these I saved my own seed. This is 2024 save seed. There's tons, really is tons, except I'm not getting all the colours. I'm just really getting the white coming through. So that's why I want to try going back to the original seeds to see if I can get better colour combination. But if I also do the B&Q, we might be there, we might be okay. What I have found is I have no tomato seeds. However, I do have the self-seeded tomatoes that are currently in the little greenhouse. No idea what they are. So I do have those as contingency, but I think I need to quickly order some bush type, because I do like to have the lower growing bush type that I can just pick off little cherry tomatoes and just eat in the garden or add to salads. So I need to get those ordered quickly. And here we are. The first time of me using this jet washer. My husband's just given me a quick demo on how to use it. And I've read that to use a jet washer on bound gravel, you do have to make sure that you've got the right setting. You can't have it too hard, I'm assuming, because it will damage the binding that's used in bound gravel. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, why are you jet washing a bound gravel patio? And you can see here where I'm cleaning that actually there is quite a lot of dirt that's gathered in there. But also the really interesting thing is bound gravel is designed to allow the water to seep through. However, over time, and we've had this down for 2 years now, I think, over time, the passages to allow the water to drain through do seem to be slightly blocked, because you can see where I'm jet washing right now, the water is dissipating quite well. However, just to the left of there where I haven't yet jet washed, the water is just sat on top of the patio. The advice you're given when having a bound gravel patio installed is to just make sure you sweep it quite often. I can't say that we do sweep it often enough, but then we don't really have much debris on there as such. However, obviously small particles have been blocking up the route for the water to dissipate, so this is actually a very worthwhile job, if not a very long job, quite tiring job, wet and cold job, but quite satisfying. And it's even better watching it at a quicker speed, because you can actually see the progress. You can see how the water is draining away a lot better where I have used the jet wash. It's quite fascinating, really. The edging there is a Cotswold stone, which has got a little grubby over time. And so that too did need to have a clean. My one complaint with using a jet washer would be the really annoying hose that just will not unravel itself. It just stays all curled up, no matter how much I try to uncurl it, which I tried many times. Also, the way you set the level on this one, this is a Karcher pressure washer. The way you set the power level is a bit hit and miss. You have to just spin round the nozzle at the end. And you just see the dial at the top on the handle change to soft, medium, hard. But if you twist it just a millimetre too much, it goes to hard. If you twist it a millimetre too much the other way, it's on soft. And then it goes to something called mixed. So I found that a little bit weird. You can't just sort of press a button or have a sort of place where it just clicks into to sort of set it to the level. But this is really, really satisfying to see. We noticed quite early on after having this installed that having a mat on this raised area, it does leave stains. But we have to have a mat. So I think I just need to keep up with this a little bit more, do it a bit more regularly. And perhaps use a broom more often. I can tell an area is done just by the way the water starts draining away better. Prior to me doing this, the patio was starting to look a little bit grey. But it started looking a bit grey because of, I'm assuming, just mud over the years, and it started to make it look grey. But now we're seeing to that issue. If you have bound gravel or you're thinking of getting bound gravel, I absolutely love it. It's really nice to walk on in bare feet too. The only issue we've had is you can see the Cotswold stone to the bottom of the image here. It's cracked in two places, and that was because of the extremely dry summer last year. The grass was so dry that it pulled away from the patio, and with it went some of the stones. As soon as the rain came back, the stones came back up to the right level and they're in the right place again. But we need to be mindful of that, because I'm assuming the summer will be the same again this year. I would advise, if you have a bound gravel patio or driveway, not to put plant pots on it if you can help it, unless you have a dish or a tray or something beneath it. Mainly because of the compost that comes through, that small amount of compost. You can see here it has stained the patio. So I'm trying to blend it in as much as I can. The black that you see there on the Cotswold stones that will not come off is actually a result of aphids that I had last year. And I seem to have been flooding these guys. All running around trying to work out where the flood's coming from. So I've moved the pot over a little bit. Not ideal because it does block this passageway a little. However, I don't want to get any more stains on the patio if I can help it. This willow type tree, I don't know exactly what it is. My mother gave me this. It grows long and drags along the floor, which I'm not keen on, and I've not actually trimmed it like that before, but I decided it was about time. And I hope that's the right thing to do. Now on to one of the biggest projects so far, and that's hanging a mural. This mural came from Sweden. Photo Wall is where I ordered it from. The paper is very thick, so it was actually quite a job to get it to bend into the corners, especially when you're doing the corner that hits the wall to the left and the ceiling at the top, and you want to get a nice point in the corner. That was a little bit difficult. And we had a bit of fun with trying to work out how we hang it. They tell you to just start with panel number 1, and they're right. Just start with panel number 1 and move across. However, I was thinking, oh, there's 6 panels, so shall we put panels starting from the centre and move either side? So we worked out where the centre of the wall was. And then we thought, shall we just unravel all of the panels, cut them where it's got the little indicator to say this is where you need to cut your panel, and just check what they all look like. And then we realised the very last panel, because of course they print it to your specifications, the very last panel isn't printed along the whole width. It's printed to your specifications. So instead of being printed across the whole panel, only half of the panel is printed, because obviously that then is the width of my wall based on the information I gave them. So then I thought, okay, we're not dealing with 6 panels here, we're dealing with the exact width as per what I entered into the website. So don't go off on your own ideas like I did to begin with. Do what they say. You start with panel 1 in the left hand corner and work your way across to the right. I did add some contingency to it, so you can see I'm cutting off the top and bottom, but also there was a little bit to the left that I could cut off as well. Because not all corners are level, so you can't just butt the wallpaper up to the corner and expect it to be level. So I made a level line, and then I ended up cutting off, I don't know, maybe 5 centimetres, 6 or 7 centimeters to the left. And I chose paste the wall because I've done that before and I know where I am with it. I know there's the peel and stick version. I'm not sure how well that works. It's probably brilliant, but I haven't used it before, so I thought we'll just go back to what we know and do it that way. Matching the pattern wasn't too bad. I think with all wallpaper you do find that you have maybe one bit that matches perfectly, and then as you go up or further down it doesn't quite match 100%, and I assume that's just stretching within the paper. And it's quite tough paper, so where the wallpaper paste has sort of squeezed through the gaps, I've just been able to use a wet, or damp I should say, cloth to get it off. But yeah, it's very thick paper, so getting that lovely clean line to cut off at the top and the bottom takes a little bit of work, really pressing in hard. And to cut the top, I like to use a ruler, see-through, so I can see where I am on the wall, and a very sharp Stanley blade. So you can see here that there's a little bit to cut off on the very last piece. And again, it's so thick, it is difficult to get it to bend into the position you want it, but you get there eventually, just patience, and you'll get there. Because I'm not sure with peel and stick whether you can, like you do with normal wallpaper paste, just pull back the wallpaper when you need to, reapply some more paste underneath, reposition. I don't know if you can do that with peel and stick, but the result at the end, I'm really happy with this. And so that's the office pretty much done now. And it's time to move out into the garden. Again, take advantage of the beautiful weather and get on with that seed sowing. As I've mentioned previously, my mix here is a little bit of homemade compost and coconut coir. It's so nice to sit outside with a cup of tea, but you do have to check your tea in case a bug has fallen in. Top tip. Both varieties of tomatoes that I am sowing here are container, basket, pot varieties, and they don't need any tying in or trimming up. They should just be fine as they are. The first one is an F1 hybrid tomato ramello, and the description of this is an outdoor cherry plum tomato with exceptional late blight resistance. Long clusters of deliciously sweet fruits that show good resistance to cracking. And there weren't many seeds in this packet. I think there were about 6 in total. So fingers crossed they germinate. And the second one is Garten Pearl, which is a German heirloom tomato. It's a tumbling cherry. So again, as I say, ideal for growing in baskets. It apparently produces a heavy crop of delicious deep red cherry-sized fruits on cascading stems, so it should look really pretty too. And they say it's great for outdoors. And what else do I have to sow here? I have peas, some lettuce, and some kale. All of these will go into the outdoor mini greenhouse. So those are the peas that have gone in. They came from the B&Q advent calendar in December. So we'll see how they do. I have no idea what variety they are. The lettuce is Lollo Rossa, which again is not really the slug and snail's favourite, so I'm happy to grow that. And the kale is emerald ice. I've never grown emerald ice before, so that is a new one to me, but it looks beautiful. So now we move on to the flowers. These are my saved marigold seed, yellow and orange, a mix. You can see I've still got most of the flowers in there, but that's fine. I'll just put them all in. Again, this B&Q advent calendar, I had some marigold as well, so I'm putting those in, and we'll see which does the best. Not that I'll know, because I didn't actually label which bit was which. And of course, cosmos. I have cosmos every year. And the sweet peas, Odorata Sweet Dreams. And I'm putting in the old seed there, as well as my saved seed. And as I mentioned, my saved seed wasn't necessarily coming through with all of the colours. So I thought it might be worth just trying some of the original seed. Even though it's a couple of years old, you never know. So next up we have stocks. 10-week mixed. I don't think these came up last year. So I'll try again. And we've got some asters. If I remember, one of these, when it does eventually germinate, is absolutely tiny. I've never done nasturtiums before, and I know that they can be a little bit thuggish and self-seed everywhere, so I might try putting this down by my compost bin, because there's an area that has just a Chianthus or Ceanothus, however you're supposed to say it. That's all that's down there, so I might try putting some nasturtium down there. And finally, I'm going to be sowing sunflowers. I never sow sunflowers. I haven't sown sunflowers since I was, gosh, 2, 3, 4, very young. I don't remember doing them at all in adult life. And I think that's mostly because I don't really ever have the right location for them. I still don't know where I'm going to put them, but because these came from the B&Q pack, I'm just going to put them in and see how they do. I worry because where we are, the wind can really pick up, so something tall like that will need help. Well, we'll see how it goes, won't we? So the tomatoes and the flowers will go on the windowsill, which is sort of southwest facing. And now a little update. It was my birthday and we went to a wonderful cinema and we watched the Magic Faraway tree. Then we had some Thai food and we had some cake. And I had a really, really lovely morning the next day, just sitting, looking outside. And flicking through the English Garden magazine, which I now have a 12-month subscription to. Thank you very much to my in-laws. And finish with a glass of wine and say thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next week.